Who is there that can make muddy water clear? But if allowed to remain still, it will gradually become clear of itself. Who is there that can secure a state of absolute repose? But let time go on and the state of repose will gradually arise. A violent wind does not outlast the morning, and a squall of rain does not outlast the day. Such is the course of nature. And if nature herself cannot sustain her efforts long, how much less can man? Activity conquers cold, but stillness conquers heat. Purity and stillness are the correct principles for mankind. And without going out of doors, one may know the whole world. Without looking out of the window, one may see the way of heaven. The further one travels, the less one may know. Thus it is that without moving you shall know, and without looking you shall see. Without doing, you shall achieve. The empire has ever been won by letting things take their course. He who must always be doing is unfit to obtain empire. I have 3 precious things which I hold fast and prize, and the first is gentleness. The second is being frugal, and the third is humility, which keeps me from putting myself before others. Be gentle, and you can be bold. Be frugal, and you can be liberal. Avoid putting yourself before others, and you can become a leader among everyone. He who respects the state as his own person is fit to govern it. He who loves the state as his own body is fit to be entrusted with it. And in the highest antiquity, isn't that awesome? And the people did not know that they had rulers. And in the next age they loved and praised them. And in the next they feared them. In the next they despised them. If the government is sluggish and tolerant, then the people will be honest and free from guile. If the government is prying and meddling, there will be constant infraction of the law. Is the government corrupt? Then uprightness becomes rare, and goodness becomes strange. Verily, mankind have been under delusion for many a day. Govern a great nation as you would cook a small fish. And the people starve because those in authority over them devour too many taxes. That is why they starve. And the people are difficult to govern because those placed over them are meddlesome. And here's the thing. This is 6th century BC Chinese. And it's a book. And it's a teaching. Were I a ruler of a little state, then what? Then what would happen? Book. I thought that was 2 stuck together. And only 10 or 100 men available as soldiers, I would not use them. I would have the people look on death as a grievous thing, and they should not travel to distant country. Though they might possess boats and carriages, they should have no occasion to ride in them. Though they might own weapons and armor, they should have no need to use them. I would make the people return to the use of knotted cords. They should find their plain food sweet, their rough garments fine. They should be content with their homes and happy in their simple ways. And if a neighboring state was within sight of mine, nay, if we were close enough to hear the crowing of each other's cocks and the barking of each other's dogs, the 2 people should grow old and die without there ever having been any mutual intercourse. Where troops have been quartered, brambles and thorns spring up, and in the track of great armies there must follow lean years. Among mankind, the recognition of beauty as such implies the idea of ugliness. and the recognition of good implies the idea of an evil. Nature's not benevolent. With ruthless indifference, she makes all things serve their purpose, like the straw dogs we use at sacrifices. The sage is not benevolent. He utilizes the people with a like inexorable. I am having difficulty with my language skills today. This is the Anthology of World Prose, edited by Carl Van Doren. And I'm going to start reading this just to see what they were thinking at the time. This old book, the Anthology of World Prose. Not prose like I'm a professional, prose is in writing. With translations by William Caxton, John Dryden, Percy Shelley, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, Walter Pater, Sir Richard Burton, Andrew Lang, and so on and so forth. This was written in, this is copyright 1935 and then this is a 1939 version from House and House, September 1939. It's a pretty old book. It's not the original, but it's that far from it. 39, 35, 39. Halcyon House editions are published and distributed by Blue Ribbon Books, 386 4th Avenue, New York City. Pretty interesting. Printed in the United States of America. Table of contents. Holy Moses, huh? Like I'm going to take a nap and read at the same time. Lao Tzu. I don't know how to say that. I don't speak Chinese. TZU, 6th century BC. That's what I was reading from. Then there's Confucius. Another one I can't pronounce. This is all Chinese writers here. There's like all these Chinese writers here that I'm not familiar with, but I'm going to get familiar with. Bifocals. They're lyrical bifocal. And then there's Japanese writers and Sanskrit, Arabian, Persian, Hebrew, Egyptian, Greek, Latin, Italian, Spanish, French. Well, it's not in alphabetical order. German, Scandinavian, Russian, English, a bit of everything here. And then they have it by the writers. Let's see. Sir Thomas Browne, Samuel Pepys, John Bunyan, John Dryden, William Congreve, Daniel Defoe, Jonathan Swift, Horace Walpole, Henry Fielding, Maria, Lawrence Sterne, David Hume, Edward Gibbon, Samuel Johnson, Rudolph Eric Rast, Edmund Burke, Thomas Paine, James Boswell, Sir Walter Scott, Jane Austen, William Hazlitt, Thomas Carlyle, Charles Dickinson, sorry, William Makepeace, Thackeray, Charles Darwin, Lewis Carroll, John Henry Newman, Matthew Arnold, Walter Pater, Thomas Hardy, Charles Montague Doherty, Oscar Wilde, George Bernard Shaw, W.H. Hudson, Max Beerbohm, Robert Falcon Scott, W. Somerset Lytton Standish James O'Grady, Lady Wilde, William Butler Yeats, Douglas Hyde, George Moore, John Millington Synge, Lady Gregory, James Joyce, Benjamin Franklin, Washington Irving, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Richard Henry Dana, Edgar Allan Poe, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Herman Melville, Henry David Thoreau, Joel Chandler Harris, Mark Twain, Henry James, Frank Hamilton Cushing, Henry Adams, George Santayana, Theodore Dreiser, James Branch Cabell, Eugene O'Neill, Sinclair Lewis, Thomas Wolfe, let's see if that's still recording. World Prose. I'm going to be reading from this. I'll be right back.